Okay, all at the same time. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, fuck.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Uninformed. I'm joined by Harry and Finny tonight. How are you guys?
Greetings.
Well lubricated with drink.
Yes, and other substances. This is very likely to be an unreleased episode, but it doesn't matter, whatever. And we may have been drinking for a short while.
7 hours.
And we decided to just chuck the microphone in the middle of the table and start talking. So if you never hear this, fuck you.
If you do,
We're very sorry.
I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, very, very sorry indeed. Let's just get right into it. We thought we started talking about, this is what we do when we get drunk. We start talking about games, which is funny because that's what we do when we sober as well, because we're fucking nerds.
Indeed.
And we figured we might as well chuck the microphone in the middle of the table and start recording it. So, Finny, what do you want to talk about tonight?
I want to talk about Shadow Play, because I've just started using it. Oh,
yep.
Fuck your lounge.
Finny is fucking John's lounge, just for the audience's sake.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Shadowplay, NVIDIA's recording software.
System.
Yep.
I adore the idea of it. I have a 760 GTX card, so I get it. I love it, to be brutally honest. I've never been interested in video capture until it was as easy as Shadowplay, because, I mean, previously there was Fraps for PC, and Fraps, well, let's be brutally honest, is terrible. Mm-hmm. It murdered the frame rate. You had to put your PC down to the worst settings possible, blah, 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 because as John pointed out to me earlier, which I didn't know, it's a software thing.
Yeah, so Fraps is completely software-based. That's why it's generally 30 frames a second or lower. It lowers your frame rate with Shadowplay and with AMD's one, which is called...
Oh, no,
I forget what it's called, but it's...
Shit play.
Yeah, Shitplay, lol.
AMD, who cares about
NVIDIA fanboys here.
Brutally honest.
But it's hardware-based, so if you want to get a little technical here, the whole thing is encoded in H.264, which is a pretty good codec, but it's still compressed, no matter what. We're not going to get lossless stuff here. No ProRes or any of that sort of stuff. But
well, it's video capture, it's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah, but it's actually a bit more impressive because not only is this video card playing the game that you want to play, and it's playing... Battlefield 4, and it's playing StarCraft, and it's playing Crisis, and whatever.
CSGO, all the work.
CSGO, yeah.
All the games that we put up on our channel.
Yeah, so it's playing Hearthstone, obviously a graphically intensive game there.
That's why it's on iPad.
Yeah, so it's playing very, graphically intensive games, but at the same time it's recording, and at the same time it's then encoding that audio, that video and audio. And that's quite a feat, and so I'm quite surprised that our video cards can actually do all those things at the same time with no loss of frame rate. I haven't noticed any.
Well, that's it. When I've been recording in PlanetSide, unfortunately PlanetSide, as the ForgeLight engine is a horribly poorly optimized engine, so the frame rate of it is appalling, but my computer's quite old. Like, the graphics card, as I was pointed out, was quite new, but the CPU and the motherboard are really, really old, so they need an upgrade. But I typically run it at about 30 frames per second. Mm-hmm. Shadowplay doesn't interfere with that, and I think that's extremely impressive.
Wait. What do you play at 30 frames a second?
PlanetSide 2. My configuration is very old.
Oh, because the CPU mostly, right?
Well, my CPU and motherboard are a massive bottleneck at the moment, and the main thing that stopped me from upgrading isn't so much the effort of getting a new hard drives and a new operating system. It's the fact that my 205 Skyrim mods don't transfer across, so I have to reinstall the bastards. Considering how much time I spent playing that game, I'm going to wait a bit longer. But no, the Shadowplay recording system, my only gripe is the audio from the mic is terrible, but then you've got to use something like Audacity, like what we do.
Yeah. Use something separate to record it, because Windows often adds a microphone boost, and it's a setting you can change. And Shadowplay just ignores that. So if you're just recording yourself, there's two aspects to it. If you're just recording yourself anyway, it is quite low, and it's like pretty much the raw input of the mic. But additionally, you are stuck with your voice over the top of the gameplay. And if you ever need to cut something or you need to re-edit it, you need to move things around or put your voice up and put the game audio down, you can't do that because they're tied together. And so you do need an external program
Which is a bit of a pain, but, well...
Not too bad. I mean, the way we do it is over Skype, and there's a Skype recorder and it records the whole thing, but...
Well, admittedly, Shadowplay is a free service that we've been given. It's NVIDIA has just handed it to us, so its audio problems aside, it's amazing. I mean, Harry, who's with us now...
I, of course, was very disappointed to learn that my 500 series...
In SLI.
In SLI. So that's my problem. It's a 500 series, so I can't do Shadowplay. But it's in SLI, so I've got no lag. I've got no reason to update because I can play everything at max graphics anyway. So I had to find another way to grab everything, which was a physical pass-through box. So it's in between my computer and my... monitor, and it just relays it straight back to the computer. It's probably got a little bit of quality loss, a bit more than Shadowplay, but it's still a heck of a lot better than Fraps. So that's my workaround, and it's
Hopefully soon we'll be seeing some Kerbal Space Program from Harry.
oh, no more Kerbal Space Program.
You're Kerbaled out?
I am so Kerbaled out. I have landed on everything and done everything and killed my little guys in every hilarious way possible.
So have you landed on the moon and flown back to Earth?
Yeah.
Mun.
I can't even get to the Mun.
I'm all over the Mun. It's fantastic.
I couldn't get off the launch pad.
No, the only thing that really ticks me off is I don't know if it's a bug or if it's some kind of fatigue in the ship, but you can't just have your ship on the launch pad and then move forward a couple of days, because having your ship on the launch pad just stresses the components. So if you leave it on the launch pad, wait a day, try to launch it, just blows up about 10 meters into the air.
Or gravity. So
Which sucks. If you just launch it straight away, it's fine. But
Yeah.
sometimes I want to wait. I like to check everything's right and get it all good. But I really need this game to come out of beta, because I don't have any reason to go anywhere else other than to get more money.
There's the other planets and everything, but there's no campaign
There's one
really.
system. Well, you don't need a campaign, but there's one solar system to explore.
Oh, it's...
Oh, I mean, the way that the game works, you'd never get to another system.
Yeah, you never would.
Wait, there's no warp drive.
My favourite bit was landing on the... I forget what it's called, but it's like the equivalent of Jupiter. And when you take an EVA report, it's like... You've landed on the surface of a gas giant. You don't really know how that's possible, but it's best not to think on that.
So this HDMI switch through, it has a video card in it doing some decoding. How does it work?
I'm guessing so. It must do some kind of decoding, and then it just passes it straight back to the computer via USB. So, you have to install the software and have it running, which is obviously a drain on CPU power.
And the fact that it's USB,
Yeah.
which slows down when your computer slows down. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But
is it 2.0 or 3.0?
3.0.
even
Oh,
3.0,
well, then fine.
it's the same.
Well, the benchmark test, as Harry pointed out to me, came back, and was it 3.1?
3.1, 3.x or something
Is the
is
fastest
currently
of
the
all
fastest
of them.
possible. That is, I mean,
3.1 what?
USB.
USB.
Yeah, but you don't have that.
No, I don't.
Well, no, 3, but it's still pretty damn fast.
Yeah, it's like 400 a second.
I think it's more than that.
No, USB 2 is 100.
Damn it, we haven't got our
If
keyboards.
only
in
we
front of
had
us.
all our keyboards.
We don't
Tap,
have
tap, tap,
anything
tap,
here.
tap.
This is impromptu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my workaround.
Well, in some sort of other news that came out a couple of days ago, this is more for Finny. I want to detail real quick some of the gameplay updates that are coming into Battlefield 4. So they've been testing him in their CTE, in their community test environment, which I just totally made up is the acronym. I believe it is the acronym, but
Potentially.
it makes sense. So game mode improvements, which is actually the thing that I'm most excited about. They're sort of revamping a lot of the modes like Rush and Obliteration and stuff, so people don't just play Conquest. Because Rush is actually my favourite mode in
The other
Battlefield.
ones are good, but not enough people play them. It's similar to...
Because it's not as good anymore,
Yeah.
That's the thing, and I'm
Chain
really
Link's
glad.
pretty good, I will admit that. The new one they introduced, it is just the... what's it called from Planet Side?
ladder system.
It
yeah.
is the ladder system from PlanetSide copy pasted into Battlefield, but
Yeah.
it works.
It does have some issues, though, I've found, after playing it for, a few weeks.
Really?
Some of the issues I've found with Chainlink is that, the advantages is that everyone's funneled into, the same thing,
so you
but
get
that's the
better
disadvantage
fights, but
as well.
The problem is that it becomes a meat grinder.
It becomes, every map is now Metro. You know what I mean?
Oh,
A lot
well,
of the
it's
time.
Metro without Metro. Metro is the worst of all the maps.
Yeah, definitely. Some of the other things that they're changing is the visual recoil. Now, this is interesting. So, previously, you'll be aiming down sights with a short range or medium range, like a Cobra sight or red dot sight or something, and you'd be getting this recoil going all over the place.
Yeah,
You're going to be going
different
crazy.
recoil patterns for different classes of weapons.
However, the recoil that the gun is showing you with the animation is not the actual recoil of the gun itself. So
There's this thing called game balance.
Yeah. So that's fine, but you'd be trying to aim at something and you wouldn't actually be hitting it. You'd think you're hitting it, but you're not. So what they're doing is they can't redo all the recoil animations for every gun. So what they're doing is that the sight itself will still have the same recoil thing and it will move around, but the red dot or the dot or whatever, yellow dot, whatever it is in your sight, won't move. So
it stays centered, but the gun moves.
The gun moves. So it does look a little weird where the red dot looks like it's moving around inside the sight, so it's not as realistic or whatever, but it's much better for gameplay because you now know what shots you can take and what shots you can't.
Well, that'll make it a lot better because realism aside, this is a video game, so we can throw that to the
It's
window.
all about balance.
Well, that's the thing, it's game balance.
Quality of life improvements.
Although the thing with Battlefield at the moment, since the latest updates from before the newest DLC, the game now freaking works.
Yeah. We've argued about this a lot. I've never had issues
Well,
with it. But
you've never had problems with it. I have had all the problems.
and obviously a lot of people
Although,
have.
mind you tried to play China Rising and it refused to listen to any servers.
Yeah, on day one.
Yeah, so
fine.
there's the two contrasts.
I played Hearthstone and it wouldn't let me into the servers on day one of Max
The
Run.
two contrasts, I had all the freaking problems. John had none of the problems, and then Harry didn't have any problems because he doesn't own the bloody game because he's intelligent. He's intelligent.
Yeah.
So there's those two contrasts, but now the game actually works. It's aside from the intense frustration of the stupid people who play it, it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't crash. I can get into servers. There's none of the previous problems that I had. So it's now it finally came out of beta. It took almost a year, but it happened.
You could say the same about PlanetSide 2 now.
PlanetSide 2 is still in beta. It'll always be in beta. I'll just keep tweaking it. Oh, the new resource system in PlanetSide is amazing.
So explain that. So no more...
No cooldown times. You want a max, pull a max. You die, pull another one.
And
you
there's
die,
no more...
pull another one.
There's no more infantry, vehicle, and aircraft resources. It's all one resource.
Nanites. One resource. Which means you can pull... And the thing is, the cost of each one, whether it be max, tank, light tank, whatever it be, grenades, medical kits, C4... The cost is reduced.
You must construct additional pylons.
We don't have to do it because it's already been done.
Well, that's a change they made. The max is now a vehicle, effectively. You got
But
to
they're
buy
all
a
from the
max
same
now.
pool. But the thing is, you can get a max, die, pull another one, and not worry. Because previously, it cost infantry resources and quite a lot of infantry resources. Now, it costs bugger all nanites. It's like 100 nanites, and they recur at 60 points per minute.
Does that change depending on how many territories you
There
are in?
there are boosts and debuffs to it.
What about like the whole territory thing? What's the point of owning more
there are certain
territory?
territories. I think if you grab like tech planes and the like, you get
more.
It's
Okay.
similar things. So
Okay.
those usual things apply.
Right.
At the moment, look, it's kind of fun in a really stupid way. Because you just go, I'm going to roll as a max. I'm going to keep rolling as a max because you literally can't stop me anymore.
Yeah.
You want to hoard tanks? You can, because no one can stop you. There's a certain sense of stupidity to it, and that you're just kind of like, I'm just going to keep spamming this crap because you can't stop me.
Yeah.
There's nothing to stop me.
Yeah.
So there's that sense of one of the greatest parts of PlanetSide is the stupidity to it. So this is added to it. I don't really think they'll keep it like if SOE does keep it as it is, they're more of a pack of idiots than what we thought they were, and we already don't have a very high opinion of them.
You do have to give SOE, which is Sony Online Entertainment, some credit though is the entire time they've been way more than any other developer listening to what people say, listening to feedback, trying to implement stuff as they hear it. Considering it's a very small developer, comparatively.
You're right there. Although there's counter argument, you give them credit for the fact that they listen to the community. I'm probably going to instigate an enormous amount of hate for this, but they do, and they do alter things according to what people want, but what they've ended up doing is making the game that everyone the majority of people have just been yelling for, and they're not making what they want to make.
Yeah, but you can say the same thing about the Xbox One, for example.
They didn't get to make what they wanted to make.
The Microsoft had a vision for the Xbox One. Everyone didn't want it, so they went back on it.
Vision's so shit.
No, but I like their vision.
The problem with that sort of thing with the Xbox One is when you broaden the vision too far, you think the unit is no longer focused. Now, what makes...
They'll try and do too much, was the thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, okay, so John has an iPhone 5S. Harry and I have Nexus 5s. What make our phones so good?
So much better.
Well, no, they're on equal footing. There's no other way.
Our phones.
Exactly.
They are your two phones.
Okay, I actually like iOS. I like iPods. I like iPhones. They're just too expensive for me to justify owning one. I like them because they have a narrow focus. What they do doesn't change hugely. The Nexus 5 and the iPhone, what they have isn't as much. They don't have as many gimmicks as the Samsung Galaxy. But because of that, what they do infinitely better. Whereas the Samsung has too much going for it. It's trying to do too many things. And it's the problem that the Xbox had. It was trying to do too many things at once.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you.
I respect them for trying to do it, for trying to have an all-in-one entertainment system, but the manner in which they did it was not going to work. Had they basically come out and said, this is the jack of all trades and the master of none, people would have accepted it a lot further. Would have said, it has its limitations, but it can do a hell of a lot. People would have been a lot more willing to accept, not mediocrity, but limited capacity for wide scope. Whereas in, for instance, the PlayStation 4, you get a dedicated gaming machine. That is its primary function. Can't really do an awful lot else, but people were happy with that. I think had the Xbox just come out and basically just been honest saying this is an all-in-one machine, it can't do everything as well as other ones, but it can do everything.
Yeah.
It would have done a lot better.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it would have been the machine for people who already have PCs. Because people who already have good gaming PCs aren't going to buy a PS4. Because why? Why would you?
To
play fucking
aren't worth it.
Uncharted, Last of Us. They're fine, but it's not really worth it. I saw a big argument on 4chan of all places the other day. Some guy, probably trolling, but said explain to me. It was a picture of The Last of Us, and explain to me. It said, explain to me any better game than this that you can get on PC. Haha, PC Master Race faggots, that sort of thing. And then every single comment was like, this game. It was like, CSGO, you can get this with CSGO's on consoles, but it's like all these fantastic PC games that are either exclusively PC or way better on PC. And then even Total Biscuit got in on it and started in his Twitter account. He's like, I would list all the things, but the human eye can't see more than 30 games per minute or something like that, which is the whole FPS thing, which I thought was quite funny.
Well, to bring up that whole debate, a decent gaming machine nowadays is about $1,500. Admittedly, a PC can do a hell of a lot more than just play games, regardless of whether you're Mac or PC or...
You can do a lot better than $1,500 these days. Like when I bought that was $13. And you could get my exact specs right now, a year later after I bought that, for maybe $800 or less.
Well, that's the thing. You can get a decent...
And in the US, $500.
Well, we're in Australia, so we're screwed anyway. Yeah. You can get a really good PC gaming, but the problem is, for PC gaming, you do have to have a fair amount of know-how of how the system works.
You need patience. You need patience to go, this thing isn't working. I have to go to forums. I have to work out why this thing isn't working.
Oh no! I have to open up my web browser and go to Google.
Most people don't want to give a shit about that sort of thing. Most
That's
people
why
have jobs, that they care about. They just want to, if they have an Xbox, they have a PlayStation. But they like games. I don't want to disparage them for wanting to just sit down at the end of the day and go, all right, I want to play a game. I want to play Halo. I want to play Last of Us. I want to play whatever. That's fine. But they can't then turn around and say, oh, they're better. Or something like that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the PC, as arrogant as it is to say, the PC, in terms of gaming, people who are dedicated to PCs, we have it better, basically. There's a guy I work with.
I don't want to sound arrogant, but...
we do, and we've had it better for a long time, because my boss's son, who I worked with, he got a PS4. And he was raving to me, going on about absolutely everything. The 60 frames per second, the 1080p, all of this kind of crap. So going, Byron, stop. I'm a PC gamer. I've had this for years.
120 frames a second.
This is normal for me. Yeah. You're raving about stuff I've had for a long time. So they're going, consoles aren't bad. They can be in terms of the fact that the people who often buy them just want the same thing again. The Madden, Call of Duty, that sort of rubbish. So that is a bit detrimental, but for the most part, they're not a bad thing. They're just a means of playing games.
I wanted to talk briefly about Twitch this week.
Oh, they're slowly killing themselves.
Yeah, so, just to explain briefly what they did was, or who they are, so Twitch.tv serves more viewers than traditional TV these days. More hours of content. It's where you go if you want to see a gaming, if you want to see a StarCraft tournament, you want to see a League of Legends tournament, Dota, you go to Twitch. If you want to see your favorite gaming personality stream games, him just playing, that's where you go. So what a lot of these streamers stupidly do, and have stupidly done for a long time, they should never have been doing it, which is over the top of their streams, they're playing copyrighted music. They're playing just music from their iTunes library, music from Spotify or whatever, which they should not have been doing. So Twitch has just partnered up with, I think it's called Audible Magic, is the company. And what this will do is look over the VODs, which is the video on demand, the sort of saved videos.
And delete third party.
Well, not delete. So it's whenever it'll still keep the VOD, but whenever it detects copyrighted music, it will mute that part of the thing. Now, the problem comes in when it's apparently also going to mute when it detects copyrighted music inside the game audio. So you could be watching someone playing a game. This isn't happening live. This is just the
game audio.
Yeah, this is just the past broadcast. So what happened was Crypt of the Necrodancer, which is a sort of rhythm roguelike game, which just came out a couple of weeks ago. Is all about music and dance music and all that sort of thing. And the big problem was that was all music that the developers made themselves. And people started streaming this. And the game audio, which is a music rhythm game, started getting muted. And the developers of this game went to Twitter and said, hey, let them play the music. It's part of the game. And so Twitch has stepped back. And I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt on this, because a lot of it looks like from the outside like these are big, massive companies that are evil, and they're all like the company from RoboCop, just trying to do bad stuff. Omnicorp.
Who does anything but make consumer products.
Yeah.
Wayland Vitali.
Yeah. Umbrella.
Electronic Arts.
Google. It looks like
Amazon.
Yeah, it looks like from the outside it's bad, but on the inside they can't keep having people playing copyrighted music forever. That's the entire point of copyright. That's the entire point of these people having their livelihoods, and they shouldn't have been doing it. So they need to implement some sort of system, but it's just I think it's just
crack a walnut.
Well, I think it's just growing pains. They went too hard, so they've pulled back, and there's a bunch of other stuff they're doing, which is restricting some past downloads where you have to explicitly say, I want to save this past broadcast. They're not going to just save them forever like they are at the moment. Things like that. But the main thing was the music thing. And now they've said that they're stepping back and they're not going to do it as much, which is, I think, obviously a smart move.
Well, yeah, they're going to slowly kill off their community if they did otherwise.
Oh, yeah.
You need to apply reason to these things.
Yeah.
That'll survive as long as they're sensible.
Yeah.
So
I'll be back momentarily.
John.
Just so you guys know, so this is a nice little... we're transparent here at Uninformed. Just letting you know that Finny has gotten up and gone to the bathroom. So it's...
Well, I'm glad he's going to the bathroom because he just started taking his jacket off and...
personal Harry time here.
I have gone to take a piss.
He might have drunk a couple more beers than us.
Just a few.
So, Harry, tell me about something interesting.
I've been on Reddit. Oh, God, this website. So, I've never actually looked at the categories in Steam. I just normally look at the front page and go, oh, look, something's on sale. Me buy. Hooray. But Reddit was having a quick debate about the sections they've got. And the news article is, and I'm sure we've made John well aware of this, Kawaii is now a section in Steam.
Oh my god.
But
is it called Kawaii?
Kawaii.
Serious? Not anime.
No, it's called Kawaii.
Oh my god.
But
No, wait. Let me see that.
But it actually got
That's
me...
a tag.
You reckon?
It's not a category. It's
Oh,
that's a tag.
Alright, sorry. Tags. Like you fucking know what I'm talking
Uninformed!
about. But I'm loving all the other tags. So they got the really obvious ones like puzzle, shooter, platformer, co-op. What's masterpiece? How does something
Great
get
game.
tagged a masterpiece?
Oh, things like Half-Life 2 and all that, I'm sure. and Portal.
They've got classic, which sort of makes sense. I like female protagonist. I didn't know that was there. I am
Useful.
all over that now.
Because tags, I don't know if you know, but tags are users put tags on. So that's not Valve at all. That's like you and I going, oh, this game is super kawaii, put it in the kawaii category.
Cool. I like how they have a tag for horror, but also another tag for hardcore.
Hardcore Extreme?
Hardcore Extreme.
Hardcore
Is it
Extreme.
hardcore porn or something else?
I don't think they have that on Steam. Not yet, anyway.
Give them a year or two.
Not too late for now, anyway.
CSGO. It's
always
very
too late.
hardcore.
What's CSGO? Is it hardcore?
Well, according to this screenshot, CSGO is kawaii.
What?
Well, shows you the... so is Farming Simulator and
Farming
Payday
Simulator.
2.
Oh, yeah.
So it shows you the benefit of the tag system.
Yeah.
Steam reviews are so fucking stupid, and every time you see a joke Steam review, you have to click no, because it's all things like, you're playing CS:GO, and the review will be something like the review for CS:GO will be something like, died immediately. What are you doing? Died immediately. 10 out of 10, and it'll be a massive review. No, hit no for that review. Hit down, like thumbs down, because that's a stupid review.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of like Amazon book reviews and stuff. They're really...
A lot of the time, they're
so
jokes.
funny at times. Yeah. They can work. I mean, but it's because the medium of Steam and games is so tied with internet culture. You just... It's not really the right place for joke reviews, because they just spam them. I don't need a joke review on Counter-Strike. I can just have fun and laugh while actually playing it at other people attempting to play it.
That's
They
true.
suck.
That's true. Now, I've been playing a game, surprisingly, and I've written down some impressions about it. In fact, I've written down a mini review of it, which I'd like to read out so that I get my words right when I'm not drunk.
10 out of 10 MLG.
Yeah, so I wrote this when I wasn't drunk, and I'm trying to read it when I am drunk, so we'll see how this goes.
John, before you start this review, skull that beer.
Okay, 1 second.
Here's to Johnny. He's trooper.
He can't do it.
1 sip, that's all I can do. Fuck it, I'll do this when I'm sober. Pretty much Insurgency. Go play Insurgency, it's a great game. Harry. Casey Hudson left BioWare.
Yeah.
We'll
What do you think of that?
The actual podcast.
Holy shit.
This is the actual podcast, what are you talking about?
This is a podcast. Oh, okay.
Sure, episode 18. Welcome.
Well, me and Harry have to have our discussion upon the Wolfenstein New Order.
Oh, I don't know. You brought it up. We should talk about
What do you mean?
Return to
Did-
Castle Wolfenstein. That was an awesome game.
It was.
yeah.
The multiplayer was the best. What are you talking about with the
So
new one?
Andrew
You played
just-
it already.
Andrew
We
just
finished
finished Wolfenstein New Order.
Yeah.
I'd finished it about a week ago. And I've been waiting for Andrew to finish it because I wanted to rant and rave on the end and stuff.
Okay.
Because...
Spoilers from here on for the next 10 minutes, guys.
Yes.
You
Alright.
don't kill Hitler.
Tell me about the ending to Wolfenstein the New Order.
Gameplay-wise, extremely functional boss fight. It's an awesome boss fight.
Functional is
Put that shit on the box. Extremely functional boss fight.
That's the thing nowadays. The game release has been, it was buggy and shit on release, but we'll patch it. The fact that the thing didn't need patching is kind of like, it's out. You can just, it doesn't crash. It works. This is fucking amazing.
That was awesome. Just
as opposed to
bugs.
Battlefield, which was released and then it's kind of like, we'll fix it eventually. It's out of beta now. Or like PlanetSide 2, it's kind of like, we released it, but not really. We're going to keep changing it, and it's just fucking unstable as shit.
Has anyone ever told you, Andrew, that you should take up your calling as a voice artist?
Yeah,
I know you can only do the one voice.
Everyone's got their version of what the internet sounds like.
And my version is that.
Yeah, like my version is like, hey, I'm typing on the computer. I'm so angry about EA. You're like, your guys all sound retarded. My guys all sound like massive nerds. What's your impression of the internet? It's you. It's me. It's like, it's Woody Allen.
My favourite version of mine is generally in Battlefield when me and the guys I play with on TeamSpeak will clear out a building and then a tank or a lab will turn up and murder us. So it's like 30 seconds of intense fighting at the end of like, oh, that was awesome. Then bang, 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 we're all dead. Then it's me. I am tank. Because the tank drove past and murdered us all.
Fuck you, I'm a tank. Alright, but back on track. Wolfenstein.
Track? What?
There was a track.
This is uninformed.
How do I track?
Crap. But Wolfenstein, good game. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I felt a bit disappointed at the end because
holy hell,
it sucked.
Before you tell me about your opinions of the end, tell me what happens at the end.
You kill Death's Head. You stab him to death.
Who's Death's Head?
The guy you've been chasing throughout Wolfenstein.
Evil-looking bald doctor dude who's
so
clearly
not Hitler.
Not Hitler, but I
He's
mean,
Goebbels or something.
But this guy is probably like he's clearly depicted as actually more evil than real world Hitler.
Right.
So yeah, it might as well have been Hitler. And big boss fight, and then you die. End of the game. Roll credits.
You die. Character dies.
Character dies.
Even do you beat the boss?
It's off screen. It's off screen. So maybe the bomb didn't go off or some shit, and there'll be a sequel. But
so the bomb went off, and then there's like B.J. Blazkowicz.
You were 1 foot away from
R.I.P.
a high explosive
peace.
grenade detonation.
Yeah,
right.
And then the Allies call in over radio something about a nuke, and he's like, "Yes, go ahead, fire it." Except he's still in the tower because he's half dead.
I see.
So one would not typically escape a nuclear explosion.
I don't know. I've played COD 4. I know.
Yeah.
He dies, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's just like Counter Strike. If you face the explosion, you take less damage.
You run away, you hop, and then you face the explosion, you take less damage. You're fine.
Yeah. And it's all sad because it's looking at the girl that he continuously banged throughout the entire game.
It's inscribed upon the Statue of Liberty. What is it? The bullshit.
We're not American.
Bring all
okay?
sick your paw.
Which is interesting because America's like, no, fuck off, we don't want your paw or anything.
Says the Australian.
Now they're like that.
Which is like in Australia, which is where like, fuck off, cunts. We never said that in the first place.
Australia's just New Zealand-y America. That's all we are.
Yeah.
And I mean, Australians are just drunk New Zealanders anyway. So
we're trying to change this.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry too. We're not helping.
Yeah.
But just to wrap up Wolfenstein, good game, worth playing. Shit replay value, don't even bother.
But at least it's got a functional boss fight.
Very functional boss fight.
Out of all the boss fights I've ever had, it's definitely adequate.
It's definitely a thing. It definitely happens.
It is definitely a boss fight. Out of all the experiences I've ever had in my life, this experience definitely happened.
Yes. I suppose the only gripe I have, of course, is when you've got a really good quality game, which it is a really good quality game, you always really hope for something that you can sink your teeth into and just replay and maybe mod or just, talk about it around the water cooler.
Engine, whatever the hell it's called, which isn't mod friendly. Although we had a discussion earlier on that there was some speculation that the Fallout 4 game would be based off of the id engine that they just made. We sort of came to the conclusion that won't happen because there's no reason for it to happen, because Bethesda will develop Fallout and Elder Scrolls as they always have, as they should, based upon the new creation engine, which hopefully, because there's no such thing as requirement for a console now, because they're all PCs effectively, the creation engine will be adapted to work properly.
Hooray.
So id will continue along with Machine Games producing first-person shooters in Doom, which no one gives a shit about anymore, to be brutally honest.
Hey, we never read Repercussions of Evil on this podcast.
For very good reason. It didn't work. We tried, and then my Skype lagged out. Which then became, we must fuck the demons.
We tried it twice. I don't know if you guys know this, the listeners, but we recorded a podcast.
End of last year.
Yeah, a roundtable podcast like this where we were all in person. We thought that's how we would do it, and we'd get together in person. Obviously not practical. But we didn't do what we're doing now with this one mic. We all had separate microphones. And that was actually fine. Except for, of course, fucking Tucker.
And his Windows 95 mic.
Yeah, the microphone you get when you buy a compact computer in 1995, 1998. And it picked up the entire room. And so there's echo and there's back... Anyway, so we tried to talk about this Repercussions of Evil thing, which is a fan fiction for Doom, and you should really look it up because it's fiction of the year all years.
Funny.
And then we tried again in a later episode and just couldn't include it because... you might have heard it where Finny tries to fuck the demons.
It was meant to be, you must fight the demons, but my Skype lagged out. And it came to us, fuck the demons.
It's great.
I like a bit of, narrative change at the last second. Just roll with it.
I was
The twist.
improvising.
The sequel.
I can imagine Andrew was talking to, the big name director on a movie they were going to make. Only it's just a bit of static just comes in. And the director was like, what was that? Well, I just had a call from the main writer. Change the script.
Change the script. We need to fuck the demons.
It did, and then it became a porno.
It did.
Yes.
The last thing is that id will continue to produce FPSs along the line of Rage, which no one gives a shit about, because oh dear, id. Wow. And then Bethesda will continue to create Fallout and Elder Scrolls on their own proprietary engine, the Creation Engine, which everyone will then cream their pants over because they're amazing. Except John Clark, because they're like, oh, there's choice. I don't want to choose. I want a frontal lobotomy.
I do.
Hey, you can get that in.
I like Elder Scrolls games. I don't like Fallout. Not for any reason.
I got the White Run. I couldn't play it anymore because then they gave me a choice.
I don't like open world games. I actually wanted to talk about the whole deep diving into games thing, where games and consoles and PCs are undoubtedly way cheaper than they ever were. Being able to, our hundreds of games in our Steam libraries makes it really hard to stick with one game and deep dive into it like we used to when we were younger. I mean, you guys do, but I don't know how you do it. I would really like to go, all right, I want to learn Dota 2 inside and out, be really good and play thousands of hours of it, but I just never can. I want to play Skyrim for hundreds of hours, but I just never can.
Well, you're a filthy casual.
Yeah, I guess so. But the thing is, I mean, what is better, breadth of experience or depth of experience?
You can get both out
Pros and cons to
deep
both.
dives. Here's the thing. The downside to being the kind of gamer that can deep dive into games is games become a bit of almost a drug experience. You're always looking for another game, and it needs to click with you in some way. Because if you're a deep diver and you're in between games, it's the worst feeling ever. You download new games and okay, I finished playing this one, but it was okay, I guess. There's no replay value on this. This obviously isn't the next game I'm going to deep dive into. And it almost gets a bit worrying after a while when nothing pops up. And so, right now I'm satisfying that craving with Kerbal, which is just chewing away hours upon hours. But that's just me toying with a physics engine. That's not really me deep diving into anything. So that's why I'm so needing Fallout 4 to come out.
Yeah, I guess I'm in between a lot of... in that ditch at the moment, in between a lot of games. I do have games that I deep dive with and I play hundreds of hours with, and Those are there's 3 of them. There's Hearthstone, there's StarCraft 2, and there's Counter-Strike Global Offensive. And I mean, you can see, Harry, how easy it is to throw away your entire life in a Counter-Strike on one map.
Yeah.
Right? Just learning Dust 2 to be the best you can be. Like, you can see how you can not perfect it, but you can try to do it the best way you can and eliminate your mistakes and eliminate your weaknesses.
The very best.
Like no one ever was. And so I do like that, like playing a racing game, playing Forza or something. It's like, taking the perfect racing line every time, trying to learn the track, really, really getting down into it. And I guess it comes down to, for me, games are a lot more about mechanics. And for you guys, I think games are a lot more about character and story and choice.
The depth of the game, the degree to which you can get lost in it for me. The Bethesda series of games is probably my favourite. Just the ability I can get lost in Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim. The degree in which you can just disappear into those games is incredible.
I can't do it unless I'm drunk. That's the problem.
Wow.
I just get bored. I'm sorry.
Well, they're not
unless it's mechanically interesting. That's the problem. I mean, Skyrim's not mechanically interesting enough for me.
I can see where you're coming from there. Different horses for different courses. There's so much selection on offer. Like, you can get lost in StarCraft. I could look at StarCraft in 30 seconds and want to break it.
Yeah.
Because it's just that boring for me.
But you have a bit of that with, like upcoming Planetary Annihilation and Total Annihilation, all that Supreme Commander and all that, which is, story, whatever. It's mechanics.
The story is relevant. The difference there is that RTS is a long-term love of mine. I've always loved it. The reason why I love the big, broad scale, basically the Westwood style of RTS, where you're not playing like Rome, Total War, or Civilization, that sort of style.
It's not tactics, it's strategy.
Yeah, you're not playing StarCraft either, which is Small Force or Dawn of War. You are playing on big maps with big armies, but it's a single map sort of thing. Those were always my RTS loves. I adored them. I grew up with them. I love them. Planetary Annihilation, to me, is hopefully going to be the epitome of that. I mean, currently Total Annihilation, which came out in 1998 or something, end of last millennium.
I believe it was 1998, actually.
I think it was, yeah. Made by Cave Dog, although the producer that then went on to make quite a few other strategy games. Supreme Commander, Total Annihilation. I have been drinking.
I'm going to take that clip and put it right
totally annihilated.
I'm going to take that clip and put it right at the beginning of the
Yeah,
episode. I have been drinking.
Where it belongs.
Yeah.
And then there's so there was that things like Command Conquer Generals, Command Conquer Red Alert, the Tiberium, the original Command Conquer Tiberium series, which were amazing up until the 4th one, which can go eat a massive infected horse dick.
Wow.
And so none of those are, cinematically or story, character-wise, interesting games. It's about the whatever.
Mechanically they're incredibly sound, but the story is entirely in between missions, and it is. I always love the story of Command and Conquer.
Sure, but you don't play it for the story, right? Like, you see what I'm getting at is the fact that we've all got those things.
The mechanics are what matters. It's similar to Wolfenstein, but the mechanics, it's fun to play.
Yeah.
The story was a joke from beginning to end.
Yeah.
But it was just fun. And for me, that's what an RTS is. It's fun. There's none of this. My problem with StarCraft is it's too dumbed down. And you'll always argue with me, and you can like whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah.
I prefer the more complicated RTS, which is why
I think it's a different kind of complication. I don't think one's dumber than the other, and I think they're both quite smart games. The thing is, one trades. I mean, your individual units don't so much matter in the larger ones.
Yeah.
It's more about it's simply the difference between strategy and tactics.
You're exactly right.
And it's all about decisions, right? You can make interesting decisions on a strategic level, and you can make interesting decisions on a tactical level. Between Planetary Annihilation and StarCraft, right? And it's just all about the decisions you can make and how well you can carry out your execution of your decisions. And that carries into every game. That carries into Counter-Strike, that carries into Hearthstone. You've got an idea of what you want to do and how well you execute that idea is the crux of the thing, the crux of what the game is to you. And when the interplay between those two levels of I'm going to decide this and do it right, or I'll decide this other thing and do it right, and whether you do it wrong or right, or whether you decided the wrong strategy, like that sort of interplay, whether you're playing an FPS or an RTS or whatever, that's the interesting part of games for me, because games are about mechanics and gameplay for me. If you want, a crazy story and characters and all that sort of thing, that's what novels are for, that's what books are for, and poems. And, it's great to have them in games, but they're always very secondary to me, and that's why I feel that I don't get into the massive RPGs and all that sort of thing. I mean, I've played probably 2,500 hours of World of Warcraft over the past 10 years, but that's not because of the Warcraft story.
Gameplay.
Yeah, it's interacting with friends, it's doing raids, it's doing dungeons, it's questing, it's building up your character, it's stats. It's all about the mechanics itself of the game. And to me, that's really what gaming is, rather than the story itself.
If I had to throw a single word at it, I'd say exploration. If I ever get a game that shows me a world that I want to know more about, the more I can explore it, the more I will throw myself at this game.
I need XP. I need to go into the new zone and go like, oh, I've now cleared this zone. Like the whole map is open, the whole map is cleared, and I go, oh, okay, I've now got this. They set like a task. I've gone, all right, I found that thing.
Did you ever play Mass Effect 1?
Yeah, I just don't like Mass Effect. I mean, I like that's actually the opposite. Mass Effect 1's story I like. The game itself is a piece of shit. Mechanically.
Okay, because I, without even intentionally meaning to, I came across the Easter egg where in certain off-worlds and also the moon, if you stand in certain locations, you hear this, it's like a call. It's a weird sound, and some people looked up the audio files and they matched it with the call of the Queen bug. What's it?
The Rachni.
The Rachni Queen.
Why do I know that? You don't know.
And because I've purged my brain of all things Mass Effect ever since the third game came out. But it was when I stumbled across that Easter egg that I first realised I'm probably not going to stop playing this game.
Right. You saw the depth.
I saw depth. There was just more things. It was a game... Mass Effect 1 to me had infinite replayability. Even though nothing was procedurally generated, every single pixel, every single piece of dialogue was always going to be the same. But because of just the amount of content and the immersion into it and exploring everything, I could literally play that game again and again and again and again and never stop. And up to the point where, from the first time I played Mass Effect 1 to just before ME3, I had continuously just cycled through that game. If I finished the game, you could bet your bottom dollar that I would have started a new game within the next fortnight.
Which is funny, because Mass Effect doesn't seem that deep to me. I really like it and everything, but when you look at it compared to, an Elder Scrolls game, or even its sister series, Dragon Age, it seems less deep. There's less stuff to do.
Oh, Dragon Age was definitely another one that I could do. The only difficulty with Dragon Age is each playthrough is so damn long. Because I'm a completionist, so Mass Effect 1 is a damn long game for a completionist playthrough. Dragon Age Origins is like double that time for a single playthrough. Yeah.
Dragon Age is again, talking about mechanics, it's more of a mechanically complex game, being a traditional RPG. And so I guess to me that seemed deeper, whether it was or not, I don't know. But some people see really deep water and they want to dive as deep as they can go. And some people see really deep water and try to swim as fast as they can. Yeah. Or try to surf or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get the metaphor. It's good.
It's interesting, and it's great that there's all these different play styles and different ways to play, and different games to cater to different types of gamers, and that's fantastic.
Choice is always a good thing.
Yeah, it's just for me that I just prefer the mechanically.
I got really lucky when it came to Dragon Age and Mass Effect, because I played through the original choices and the things that happened, and then obviously you go through or you look up the alternative things that can happen, and I just picked the right characters, especially with Mage, in Dragon Age Origins. I looked at all of the intros and stuff. I'm like, mage sort of makes the most sense. And especially since in Dragon Age 2, you're a distant cousin of the mage character. And that's a bonus that you don't get if you pick any other intro for Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah.
So I felt like a bit more of a close connection with the game, because all these other people that wanted to be fucking elves, sucks to be them.
Yeah, no, exactly. All right, well, I think that's probably it for this delicious drunken episode of Uninformed. Is there anything else from you guys?
Nope.
Beer is good.
Beer is
making farting sounds.
Yeah, beer is good. Well, thank you for joining us all for Uninformed. Please check us out on YouTube. Subscribe to us in iTunes. Send us tweets at Uninformed News, or email us at uninformedpodcast@gmail.com. I'm John Clark.
I'm very drunk. I mean, Harrison Lake.
And I'm also extraordinarily drunk, and I'm Andrew Finn.
And we'll catch you next time.